London Mayor Sadiq Khan has infuriated royalists and anyone with a bit of common sense after shunning a statue of our late Queen in favour of bizarre submissions that have been branded anti-British propaganda. The fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square was rumoured to be reserved for Queen Elizabeth II, but it will instead be adorned with two statues from a shortlist that includes a Bollywood-themed ice cream van honouring the artist's father's emigration to Britain from India, and an international sweet potato designed to reflect the diverse conversations that happen in the square. This year's statue has already been chosen and will be hundreds of faces of trans sex workers. That installation cost the taxpayer £140,000, plus a further £30,000 for the artist's fee. However, Tory mayoral candidate Susan Hall has promised to force what she calls woke art to be moved to make sure that our late Queen can have a statue. That, of course, is if she's elected in May. So tonight I'm asking, which option would you prefer to have as the statue on Trafalgar Square's fourth plinth? Would you go for Queen Elizabeth? Would you go for the faces of trans sex workers, a Bollywood-themed ice cream van, or a well-travelled sweet potato? Let me know your thoughts by emailing me gbviews@gbnews.com. You can tweet me and GBNews while you're there. Go and vote in our poll. The results to follow very shortly, but going head-to-head on this now are historian Rafe Heydel-Mankoo and author and broadcaster Jenny Barnett. Rafe, is this not absolute sacrilege?
It is, absolutely. You know, when they first announced the fourth plinth back in 1999, I was actually quite in favour of it because I knew that it would eventually be dedicated to Her Majesty. And I thought it would be a great and harmless, fun way to bring art to the public. But instead of that, it's been captured by Khan and also by Mayor Ken Livingstone and used as a platform for divisive identity politics. Quite frankly, I think Her Majesty deserves to be on there. I'd like to see two statues of Her Majesty, actually. Queen Victoria has 10 statues in London. I think Her Majesty deserves her rightful place in Trafalgar Square. But, you know, she was every bit as great as Queen Victoria or Albert. They've got a Victoria Memorial and an Albert Memorial. I think we should also have a huge stonking Queen Elizabeth Memorial, maybe in Hyde Park or on the Mall, you know, on the opposite end of the Victoria Memorial. But certainly we've known for a long time that it's devoted and deserved that Her Majesty take her rightful place as one of our greatest monarchs.
Jenny, why do we value trans sex workers over our arguably greatest ever monarch?
We value everybody, Patrick. We value whatever they are, LGBT, black, white, brown, Jewish, Christian. And I think that what people have to look at, if the Queen was still alive, she would be supportive of the arts. Let us look at what that plinth has done. Over the years, we have looked at Alison Lapper with no arms and no legs. It taught us compassion. Anthony Gormley had over 2,500 people standing on there, and it suddenly became a work of art that everybody knew about. It even got onto the Archers. It introduced the first British black artist. We had a great big blue cockerel, which was a symbol of regeneration, awakening and strength, and I could go on. But I think that not everybody is royalist. There are 9 statues to the Queen, and I don't think we need it in Trafalgar Square. It is a place where people are subversive. It's always been a place where people talk and discuss, and we are living in a multicultural society, whether people like it or not.
I get that, but
the fourth plinth should remain subversive.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but Rafe, you know, Trafalgar Square is one of the greatest tourist attractions in this country. And I am convinced that people from Japan, people from America, people from all over the world come to see a statue of our Queen and not a well-travelled sweet potato.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Sweet potato.
Jenny.
Sorry.
Go on, Rafe.
That potato to me looks rather like an enlarged soup dropping more than a potato, I have to say. But yes, I mean, look, we have to realise what's going on here. There's a clear agenda at play by Sadiq Khan and by the Fourth Plinth Commissioning Group, the body that's actually tasked with selecting these artworks. And it's a body that is stacked with hugely divisive figures, some of whom have shown utter disdain for the British and the London indigenous population. People like Jon Snow, the Channel 4 broadcaster, who famously said that a Brexit rally in Whitehall was the largest gathering of white people he had ever seen. This from a man who goes to Glastonbury every year, which is 10 times larger and more white. what we're seeing is no attempt ever made to celebrate our glorious British history, London's great past. You know, the 6 finalists who have been shortlisted, 5 of them are ethnic minorities. There's only
And
one
so
person
are
who's
you. And so are you.
Exactly.
How rude you are.
Britain is
How rude
80%
you are.
white, 74% white British. There's a clear agenda here at stake. We have to be aware about this. This is about Sadiq Khan enforcing a new cultural orthodoxy on London,
Right.
a new ideology, new heroes, and new myths.
All right. Jenny, realistically, Jenny, I'm just going to ask, look, it's one thing representing, you've rattled off some great examples before, absolutely, you know, and all power to them. But how niche are we going to get here, Jenny? We're talking about a Bollywood-themed ice cream van, for goodness sake. I mean, at what point do you just go, look, that is absolutely, completely and utterly pointless, and it represents nobody else than the grandfather of the person who used to drive it?
No, it isn't. Come on, Patrick, open your blooming eyes.
I'm looking at it. I don't understand what it...
It's about the motherland. It is about immigration, and art will always be progressive. You like to call it woke, but it isn't. Art will always upend the apple cart to make you look at things differently. I have no beef with the royal family. I think they're lovely. I like them. But we've got enough of Buckingham Palace and castles and all the rest of it. We have one plinth in the corner of Trafalgar Square where people can express themselves. And Trafalgar Square has always been a place of celebration and protest. And you yourself, young man, should understand that we all have voices. It's made me so cross what you're saying, that you are dissing your own diaspora.
I'm delighted by it.
And let me just say about this sweet potato that it's reflecting the international conversations that happen in the square. It came from a vegetable that's come from Peru. We should be honouring that. Since the Tory party have taken away all kind of discussion in schools and art and music and expression. What do you want? You want to go back to Victoriana. The only queen that we should have in Trafalgar Square should be a bronze picture of Paul O'Grady with a dog.
This is unbelievable. I like Paul O'Grady appealed to more people than a well-travelled sweet potato, for goodness sake.
Have you seen what it looks like? It's beautiful.
OK. Rafe, I'm just going to ask you, in terms of cost effectiveness as well. So we now have some of this art that has apparently cost us the best part of about £300,000 or whatever it is. So presumably, if the Queen's one was there, it would be the statue to end all statues. It would be the best ever statue of Queen Elizabeth II. We may well end up paying goodness knows what for that, but it will be a one-time cost. We have to pay about 250 grand or whatever it is every single time some art lunatic decides they want to shove something on a plinth.
That's right. The London taxpayer is actually paying to have their eyes assaulted every time they get out of Charing Cross Station. You know, and you referenced the ice cream van that celebrates the Indian community in Liverpool. I mean, what on earth does that have to do with London? Well, you know, many statues in the Victorian era were actually funded by public subscription. So it actually needn't really cost anyone anything because there's enough love in this nation for anyone actually.
One at a time. Let Rafe finish, then we'll go to you, Jenny. Go on, Rafe. Wrap it up, Rafe. Go on.
But the point is, you know, Sadiq Khan and his apparatchiks and his Politburo have the audacity to accuse the right of stoking the culture wars, but he's using every tool at his disposal, from the overground lines that he's renamed to the plinth, to put this new cultural orthodoxy on the capital. He's the mayor who wants to take us from net zero to year zero and erase our history.
Jenny, final word on this. Look, there is no clamour whatsoever to have a sweet potato, a Bollywood-themed ice cream van or trans sex workers on a plinth in Trafalgar Square. There is clamour to have the Queen.
How important is art and the expression of art to you?
Not that important.
Exactly.
That's not art.
That's your problem. You are both Philistines.
Oh, dear.
I tell you what's more important, Jenny, is our late Queen. And also, I'm sorry, I think as Ray said, I'm just not convinced that's art. I'm sorry, Jenny. I just don't think
How do you define art? What is art? What
Well, it's not on the
top?
fourth
It's
plinth right now.
All right. Look, we're going to have to wrap it up there. I've enjoyed this. I have thoroughly enjoyed this tonight. So thank you very, very much. All right, look, which option would you prefer? Queen Elizabeth II, the faces of trans sex workers, a Bollywood-themed ice cream van, or a well-travelled sweet potato? Ian on X says, I voted for the potato. Maybe when the public will see what's going on with Sadiq Khan. Tomo on X says, those who didn't vote for Bollywood ice cream vans are clearly racist, misogynistic Karens and should be sacked from whatever job they've got. Nisi on X says, remove the plinth so we can be spared their inability to produce anything remotely artistic. Look, your verdict is now in. 87% of you went for our late Queen, 5% of you went for the faces of trans sex workers, 3% of you opted for a Bollywood-themed ice cream van, and 5% of you went for a well-travelled sweet potato. Well done, everybody.